Hey guys, sorry I couldn't be there today. I'm out at a conference, but hopefully this video will help you with the packet that you guys have. So yeah, you should have your TI Inspire. If you don't, you hopefully have borrowed one, because you all need one to do this. And then you've got your packet out in front of you. The first two pages of the packet, or the first sheet, is the step-by-step directions for the calculator. So you might even want to just kind of tear that off and have that separate. When we do these problems on the test, you will be allowed to use the note sheet or the directions, the step-by-step directions. So you don't worry too much about having to memorize these, but you want to get comfortable with how we go through this. So take a look at problem number 1. It says that Addie's got $200 in the bank and she adds different amounts of money into her account every month. And we got that table that shows her balance. Okay, so you're going to turn your calculator on. You're going to get to a new document, and you want to add a list and spreadsheet page like you can see here. Okay, if you ever need to pause, just pause and then catch up. So add a list and spreadsheet, and after you do that, it'll look like this, and you're going to type in all the data. So you can see here, I've got the month, and I've typed in all the months. You can't see 0, 1, but they're there. And then I've typed in all the balances. Make sure you press enter here after your last balance, because if you don't, then it won't count it. It won't recognize it. So you've got that. You type in your data, and then what we're going to do is we're going to add a new page. So hit Control Dock on your calculator, and when you hit Control Dock, this will come up, and you're going to add a data and statistics page. Okay, so we want a data and statistics page, and you click that, and we get this here where you've got to click at the bottom of your screen to add month as our X variable, and then you click on the side here and you're going to add balance as our Y variable, right? And once you do that, we end up with a very nice scatter plot. Oops, where's that scatter plot? Here it is. Okay, so that scatter plot shows up, and we're gonna make a sketch of that scatter plot on your paper. But first, let's get the best fit line. Okay, and so what the calculator can do is it can take those data points that you see on the scatter plot, and it can approximate a line. All right, and you can see on the screen here it's already showing up for you, but it approximates the line there. Okay, the best line that would fit the data points is as well as possible, because it's real life data, so it's not going to be a perfect straight line anymore like we saw in all those modeling problems. Okay, so in order to make the calculator do that, while you're on the scatter plot, you're going to press menu, and then you're going to press analyze, and then you're going to press regression. Okay, and we want the first one, linear, mx plus b. You recognize mx plus b, slope-intercept form, that's what we want. So we click on that, and now your screen should look like this. You get that nice line, and you've got this equation with about 1 billion decimals. Okay, we don't need that many decimals. So we're talking about money here, so when we go to write that equation, which is problem A, write a linear model, okay, when we write that, we'll round it to just 2 decimals since we're talking about money. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to sketch a scatter plot of the data, so I'll let you do that right now. Okay, so there I've added my scatter plot there, and you can tell, you don't need too much detail, although what we should do is add some labels here. So month, and then balance. But it doesn't need to be perfect. Just kind of get the gist of it. And then we're going to write our linear model. All right. So just like on the other ones, we need to define our variables. So we've already kind of decided. We know that X is months, and Y is balance, or money if you want. And so now we're going to take that equation that the calculator gave us. Okay, I can see it at the top of the screen here. We're going to take that equation, but we're going to replace the y and the x with the words. So it's going to be balance equals and then I'm going to take that 55.6, and I want to round it so that it's going to be 5/7, so it rounds up to 6. So 55.66 times months plus, I need a little more room here, plus 191.61, it looks like, if I round that, plus 191.61. Okay. So then we want to know what's the rate of change in the linear model. So these problems now are just the same as the ones we did using the word problems last week. Okay, so what is the rate of change? It's my slope. So that's 55.66. But we want to put that with units. So my y units, remember, slope is change in y over change in x. Okay, so my y units are dollars per month. Okay, so what does it mean? It means that she saves, well, she saves, not shaving, she saves $55.66 every month. That's the rate of change. Okay, and then the y-intercept, remember that's the beginning. Y-intercept, think initial amount, think beginning. Okay, the y-intercept is 191.61, and that's a dollar amount. A y-intercept, the y is balanced, so that's a dollar amount. Okay, that means at the beginning, or after 0 months, after 0 months, she had 191.61 cents in her account. Okay, now one thing we should make sure we add here, or make sure we keep track of, is the fact that this is now an approximation. Okay, we know from the data, okay, you have the data chart there. We know she's not saving exactly $55.66 a month. This is an about amount. Okay, she saves about that much, and she would have about 191. It's a predicted value. Okay, so really we say she saves $55.66 predicted every month. Predicted. And then she had same idea. It should be about a predicted amount. Okay, so then we got a couple more quick things to finish up. This video is getting kind of long. I want to end this pretty soon here. So after that, what we've got to do is we've got to add a calculator. Okay, so go ahead and click Control Doc, add a calculator page. All right, that's this. And once you get that, we're going to press Menu. We're going to press Statistics, and then Stat Calculation. So Menu 6-1, and then Choice 3. Same thing, Linear Regression, MX plus B, right there. Choice 3. So we pick that, and this will pop up. We're going to make the X list months and Y list balance. Okay, and I want to point out what's already there. It says save regression equation, okay, to F1. So what it's doing is it's taking that equation, that $55.66 times X plus 191 or whatever it was, and saving it to F1. It's giving it a variable name. So when you do that, you click OK, and now we get this little printout here, okay, where it shows you lots of things that we've seen before. So it says the equation's in the form mx plus b, and then it gives you m and b. Gives you those values there. Okay, but part of the reason we are doing this is to get the r value. Okay, and that r value is something called the correlation coefficient. And we'll talk a little bit more about that tomorrow when I get back. But basically, it's just a measure of how well the line represents the data. Okay, how good our model is. Okay, so when we do that, that's part D on your worksheet there. Okay, where it says, what is the correlation coefficient R? What does it tell you about how well the model fits the data? Okay, what is the correlation coefficient R? Well, the calculator tells us that it is R equals 0.992. Probably want to go to about 3 decimals on this. Okay, the closer to 1 it is, the better. Okay, so what this means is it's a strong positive correlation. Okay, strong positive correlation. Okay, if it were a negative, like close to -1, then we'd say a strong negative correlation. And if it's closer to 0, okay, like 0.45, well then we say it's a weak positive correlation or a weak negative correlation. If it's more in the middle, like 0.75, sometimes you'll say moderate. Again, we'll talk more about that on Tuesday. So lastly here is part E. Part E asks you to predict. It says about how much money will she have after 36 weeks. So what we need to do is use that equation, okay, and just like we did the other day, is plug 36 in for months, okay, but our calculator can actually do this for us. So what I want you to do is type in F1, okay, and when you type in F1 and then parentheses 36, what it's saying is we want to use the function F1, which is our equation, and plug in 36. Okay, and when it does it doesn't round anything, so we get this real nice answer, $2,195.26. Okay, if we were to use our rounded equation, that's what I'm showing you here. If we use the rounded one, plugging in 36 for x, or for months, we get $2,195.37. So it's a little bit different because we rounded, but it's still pretty close, right? Only 11 cents off, so that's pretty good. Okay, so let's finish this up, and we would say, what is it? Balance equals 55.66 times 36 plus 191.61, and you're gonna get that it's $2,195. And I don't care which answer you put. You could put 26 cents, you could put 37 cents, depending on which way you found the answer. Okay, but let's put a $sign there. Okay, so what you're going to do now is finish up the last 3 problems in this packet. So it's number 2, 3, and 4, and you're going to turn that packet in before you leave. So make sure you get those 3 problems done. Once you finish those, you kind of have the rest of the time for doing some work that you need to do in any of your other classes. Okay, thanks. See you guys tomorrow. Bye.